Hi, I'm Mason Marangella from Vertex Effects, aka The Rig Doctor, and today we're looking at 5 songs that you didn't know used a Dumble amplifier. Now, if you're a fan of Dumble amps like I am, you probably know that there are lots of classic hits that used a Dumble. Namely guys like Robben, Larry Carlton, Stevie Ray Vaughan, John Mayer. We all know that those guys used Dumbles. We know that they used them on a lot of different songs. But today we're looking at the ones that are a little bit less well known, bringing those to light and taking a look a little more closely at the players in the songs that you may not have realized used a Dumble, but we actually all know and love. Now, what gear are we using today to get these tones? Pretty simple. We're using a couple different guitars depending on the song to most closely match what was used. We got an ES-335, a Tom Anderson Super Strat, and a Les Paul. As far as the gear to create the overdrive sounds, we're going to be using the Vertex Ultraphonix Overdrive, which was designed to emulate a Dumble Overdrive Special. And then we're going to run that in to a Deluxe Reverb, and we'll use a little bit of delay from our Source Audio Collider just to create a little space and match a little bit of what was in those actual recordings. I've also brought in my good friend Tim Marco, who's going to be playing through some of these songs and creating his own renditions based on those classic hits, giving you some of the melody, giving you some of the lead and solo parts, and blending them all together in something that really grooves. So let's start with our first song. The first one is the classic Bob Seger hit, Like a Rock. Like a Rock was recorded in 1986, and the guitar player on the solo is Rick Vito. And I remember reading that Rick Vito had said that he didn't actually think that the solo was really that great. He came in, did the take, was satisfied with it, but didn't think it was going to be anything amazing or iconic or featured in all sorts of Chevy commercials in the 1990s, which is definitely where a lot of us probably heard it who are kids like me in the early 90s. He used an overdrive special paired with a Les Paul Jr. Now, we're not going to use a Les Paul Jr. for this today. We're going to just use a standard Les Paul, but I think you're going to get the idea that the tones are there and can really help bring out that beautiful Dumble, classic mid-range smoothness, and it just really screams with slide and just sounds so musical. Tim's going to bring it for us. Wow, that sounded incredible. Really nailed the tone, and I love how Tim kind of interpreted it in his own way, really made it sound toneful and musical, but still really paid homage to that original song. But let's look at another song that some of you maybe didn't know was also using a Dumble Overdrive Special. The next one was recorded in 1977 by Jackson Browne, and this is the song Running on Empty. And the guitar player was David Lindley. David Lindley was a famous Dumble user for much of his career and used a lap steel into the Dumble Overdrive Special for the solo sections in Running on Empty. Sounds absolutely incredible, and Tim is going to reinterpret that using a Les Paul and a slide, not exactly the same setup as Lindley had, but pairing that with our Ultraphonix Overdrive and the Deluxe Reverb. I think we're going to get pretty close. Let's see what Tim's got for us. Wow, Tim absolutely killed that one. Sounded great, really brought the groove, but also brought the melody that is so iconic to that solo section in Running on Empty. Sounds absolutely great. Now, the next song is from an artist that a lot of us do associate with a Dumble, but this was way before he actually ever was known as a Dumble user. This is none other than Robben Ford back in 1979 on his first album, Inside Story. Now, he did use a Fender Deluxe Reverb on all of the rhythm parts, but on all the lead parts, he actually rented a Dumble Overdrive Special from Andy Brower, the famous rental house in LA back at the time, to do all of the lead sections. So the rhythm part will be a Deluxe Reverb, originally as it was, but then when you hear the lead sections, it's all going to be Dumble Overdrive Special. So Tim is gonna reinterpret the song Magic Sam for us. We're gonna be using, of course, our Ultraphonix Overdrive, which emulates a Dumble Overdrive Special, into our Deluxe Reverb. Gonna do a little rhythm, a little lead, and I think it's gonna absolutely kill. Man, Tim really got that phrasing down. That Robben Ford thing has this really certain and specific timing, and just kind of his patience in creating that pocket. I really love what Tim did there. It sounds absolutely great. This brings us to our next song, which is from Boss Scaggs. Now, Boss Scaggs wasn't a Dumble user to my knowledge, but on this particular session in 1980 on the record Middleman, he hired Steve Lukather to do a lot of the session parts and a lot of the guitar playing for the record. And Steve Lukather on the song Breakdown Ahead uses a Dumble Overdrive Special to create those iconic guitar lines, those beautiful fills that are just fat, warm, and thick, and just absolutely scream Dumble. Let's get Tim in here, have him play it. I think it's gonna absolutely nail that tone, just using the Ultraphonix straight in to the Deluxe Reverb, a little delay, and that's all you're gonna need. Wow, that was one of my favorites. I love that song. I think it sounds great. I think Tim really interpreted those Steve Lukather lines really great. Really did that song justice. Love the groove, love the melody, great all around. But that brings us to our last but not least song that maybe you didn't know used a Dumble Overdrive Special. Now this one has been hard for me to pinpoint. This one is by Lionel Richie, and it's the song Dancing on the Ceiling. The guitar player was Carlos Rios. Now, Carlos Rios was kind of a protege of Larry Carlton and kind of followed a lot of Larry Carlton's steps in terms of the gear choices, guitars, things like that he used. Now we know by 1986 that Larry Carlton had moved to using Dumble amplifiers, and I believe that Carlos also moved to that. But there is some ambiguity and some mixed messages that I've got in my research about what was actually used, and it could have actually been a Mesa Boogie Mark I, although I have more people telling me that it was most likely an Overdrive Special. Now, if somebody knows Carlos, or if Carlos, you're watching this and you can verify, please do let us know what was actually used on this song. But to our knowledge, to the best that we can discern, we believe it to be a Dumble Overdrive Special. Definitely has that sound and feel, but we are happy to be corrected, so if you do know something about this, this is sort of the one that we're not sure about. But nonetheless, let's bring in Tim, let's have him shred on this thing. It's a really cool song, a great example of mid-80s pop music by Lionel Richie. Here's Dancing on the Ceiling, performed by Tim Marco. So those were the 5 songs that you probably didn't know used a Dumble amplifier. Tim did an absolutely great job of just reinterpreting these songs, creating great grooves, and really incorporating those original melodies that we know and love from those fantastic, iconic songs. If there are any other songs that you know about that use Dumble amplifiers that maybe aren't on everybody's radar, I would love for you to share those with us in the comments, and we could make a follow-up video to this, doing another 5 songs that you didn't know used the Dumble. I would love to do that video. This has been a blast to shoot. So please do let us know that in the comments, and let us know which one of these songs maybe you didn't know about, or which one was your favorite. I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you love what you heard today, I highly recommend that you support us by subscribing, by leaving us a comment, by giving us a thumbs up and liking this video. All those things help us tremendously. If you want to help us even further, you can buy some of the pedals that we used today, like the Ultraphonix Overdrive that emulates a Dumble Overdrive Special. And I think as you could see from this video and you could hear, it actually gets really close through a standard clean amp, just like a Fender Deluxe Reverb. That helps us tremendously. Also, we offer rig consulting services on therigdr.com. You can check out one-on-one consulting packages with me or some of the rig nurses and get your rig dialed in. We also offer all the pedalboard accessories and all the things that you would need in order to build a pro-level rig that we approve of: patch cables, zip ties, tie-down mounts, Velcro. All this stuff is Rig Doctor approved, and you can get it right on our website. And anything else that we use regularly, all linked in the description, so do check that out. Until next time, I'm Mason Marangella, aka the Rig Doctor from Vertex Effects. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a little something new about some songs that featured Dumble amplifiers. See you later.